There's a new situation going on up in Portland, and we're joined by Bill Diss from Portland. Now, Bill, as I understand it, first off, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
And as I understand it, you were a school teacher or are a school teacher, and you spoke out against Planned Parenthood and met some repercussions from that. Tell us what happened.
Well, it started 6 years ago. I teach in an inner city school, and even though Portland and Oregon as a whole is a very high white population state, this school where I teach only has a white population of 20-some%. And Planned Parenthood announced at that time they were going to build the largest abortion center in the country, very near school on Martin Luther King Boulevard. And Pastor Childress, for example, came out from blackgenocide.org to talk, and the Muslims were upset in various Christian churches. And when the school found out that I was fighting Planned Parenthood, in the neighborhood, they started to harass me a lot. In fact, I like to even use the word torment. And different principals have come and gone. And this year we had our fourth principal. And in the beginning of the school year, Planned Parenthood appeared in the classroom. I didn't know they were coming. I had gotten an email that said that a gentleman from a teenage outreach program would be coming. So I asked him for his card, like we're supposed to do, and it said Planned Parenthood. And I said, "Sir, you'll have to step out." And almost immediately, the principal and vice principal ran down to the room and pulled me out and said no Planned Parenthood could stay. And at the time, I was handing back multiplication quizzes because I was trying to work with the kids on some multiplication skills and general math skills. And so this year ended up to the district and the administration took tormenting to a whole new level. They came to observe my class over 30-some times, and even Planned Parenthood managers came to observe my classes.
Now, Bill, you're a math teacher, is that right?
Math, computer science, and electronics.
And Planned Parenthood is, I don't know, I mean, help me with this. You're a math teacher, computer science, and Planned Parenthood is demanding class time? I mean, it would seem to be some sort of disconnect.
I certainly agree that it is a disconnect, but they were just trying to get, Planned Parenthood into more of the schools.
See, you're already my hero. I'm being honest with you. Because, first of all, if anybody has seen Mark for 21, you know exactly what Planned Parenthood is up to. But the most disgraceful thing that's happening in the black community, we have black children graduating, not even being able to read. Then most of them, here you are, teaching them with math and some things that could really help it out. And Planned Parenthood want to come in there with their sex mess and recruit some more people for their business. This is the most sickening thing I ever heard. In other words, I'm saying whoever those people is that put Planned Parenthood, they need to be kicked out of school themselves. Brother, you are a hero.
Well, thank you.
Amen. Johnny?
Yes, and that's the reason I worked so hard on, because back in 2007, I was like similar people in the pro-life movement. You go to certain conferences and you get emails and what have you. And when I found out Planned Parenthood was coming by my school, I said, "Oh my God, those are my kids." In fact, when the Archbishop called me years ago, he says, "How are you able to do this?" And I said, "Well, those are my kids that they're after."
That's good. Now, how do young people, your students, taking this now with you being pushed out?
Well, I think you could understand this is a lot of people have asked, well, have the teachers come forward and students, but the district has quite the stranglehold on people, and a lot of the students and parents are afraid to speak for repercussions because they saw what happened to me.
Afraid to speak.
On March 19th, for example, the principal came and a vice principal and the director of human resources and a Portland police officer came at the end of the school day, right when the last student left my room, and escorted me out. So, I had 11 years worth of stuff there. I wasn't even able to pick up anything, and they just wanted to do it so heavy-handed. I mean, there was nothing about a crime or anything like that, but they just wanted to show that they were tough like that too.
So no allegations of a crime. You simply were using the rights that God's given you, the United States guarantees that you can use, your freedom of speech, and you're given, after 11 years, their personal property inside the classroom, you're given the perp walk, and you're told to get off the campus and ultimately fired, and your contract was not renewed.
That's right, yeah. So initially the contract wasn't renewed, which is very rare that they don't renew someone's contract. And then it's more rare when they get rid of someone before the contract's over, and then extremely rare when they would come in with the police to escort somebody out.
Rare, I would suggest, and I don't know this, but I would be willing to bet that it's never happened in that school district.
Yeah.
Yes, the only time usually when someone gets escorted out is that if they've been, involved with, some sort of crime.
Right.
Now back to Pastor Hunter there, where they started Planned Parenthood in the school district, they started it at Jefferson, Benson, Roosevelt, and Madison, and I used to teach at Benson, and all those schools had less than 50% white students. If you got around 50% white students, then Planned Parenthood wasn't put into the schools.
Wow.
Wow. Mark, this is the second time I've heard that go down. In Louisiana, they were going to put sex education in the schools. And I remember one of the legislators called me and asked me, they said, well, the students need it. I said, well, look at what schools they're ready to put them in. And she checked and found out they were only putting them in black schools.
Well,
and when she sat in a committee and said, well, let's put them in other schools too, they killed it.
Right. Well, look, in my Alpha 21, we found that situation where in Baltimore, or I think it was Baltimore, Maryland, when they started giving out Norplant in junior highs and high schools, 100% of them were in black schools,
right,
not in white schools.
It's just atrocious, and what gets me so upset about that is that the district and other people act like they're so reaching out to the to people of other races and nationalities, and they are. They're reaching out and trying to kill them. Mm-hmm. And my guiding rule for teaching is I look at those children like my own. So when Planned Parenthood came in on September 17th, and I told them they would have to step out, I wouldn't want Planned Parenthood, speaking to my children, my own biological children. So I certainly will not want them.
That is so wonderful, because if the Klan had walked in your classroom, I am sure you're the kind of person who will put them out. I'm not so sure about your principal.
Well,
no. In fact, the principal is very much into having them there. And the other listeners should know on the show that not only can Planned Parenthood come in and talk, but Planned Parenthood is actually able to have the kids for the whole period. We meet for an hour and a half every other day, and Planned Parenthood is able to take the kids in their classroom, and Planned Parenthood does not have to have anybody else from the district
watch what
present.
they're doing.
Oh my!
So
and
they're violating
computer science and math, right?
Right, and they're violating all sorts of district policies, because recruiters are not supposed to be with the children alone. Recruiters are not supposed to offer large cash gifts, and they're giving the kids $30 to take these very sordid sexual surveys. And one thing that gets me worried with that is that Planned Parenthood will have that information forever. Mm-hmm. And if as these children grow up, Planned Parenthood can say, "Oh, well, look, back then we have this information on you," and,
Right.
and I think that they'll use it against them.
Well, Bill, we have joining us by phone is Father Frank Pavone from Priest for Life. Father Frank, you've seen this as you travel around the country and other places.
Yes. In fact, I was just thinking, Bill, as you're telling this story, we often hear the pro-life people say, well, we're going to outnumber them because our side is having children and theirs isn't. And that's true. But what the Planned Parenthood types try to do to make up for that is just what you're describing. They want to take over control the educational institutions, and corrupt the children of pro-life people. The stand you're taking, the example that it gives, when all of us can say the same thing from our own experience, when we're mistreated for standing up against the abortion industry, this has got to be a rallying cry to our people, not to be silent, but to speak. And that's why I'm grateful to you for what you're doing, speaking out, because, and there will be a lot of people who will respond to that. They will speak precisely because they're trying to silence you.
Yes, and we certainly have to do. In fact, the Archbishop here wrote quite a support letter for me and mentioned that, you can't get rid of topics where there's, a lot of contention by getting rid of people who speak on the opposite side.
Apparently you can.
And it's so sad that our school district has the same number of students that had back in 1920. In other words, the population of the city has gone up, but it is the contraceptive and abortive mentality of Planned Parenthood that's just preventing our city and other cities for people for having children. So our school has dropped. Our school district's dropped by about half since the 1970s, and my own school district, in the 11 years I've been there, when I came, they had 1,600 students. Now they only have 800 students.
Wow.
Hey, Bill, we want to applaud you for what you're doing and the courage that it takes, and I'm trusting that God is going to provide another opportunity for you,
thank you.
It's going to be better than the one you left. But I think that's something that's real important as we look at this from the standpoint of them targeting minorities.
Yes.
That in the 1920s, there was a grandmother who was a teacher. Is this in the same school district? That was fired because she...
Oh, yes, my grandmother. No, it was actually in eastern Colorado when the Klan controlled everything, just like now Planned Parenthood does. But yes, my grandmother was fired because she was a Presbyterian, and she was going out with my grandfather, who was a Catholic, and the Klan didn't want any of that, so they had her fired. So really nothing's really changed.
So she opposed the Klan, and they got her.
And you're opposing, and now you're opposing the Klan.
She opposed the Klan and got fired, and I'm closing the new Planned Parenthood.
Exactly.
And I got fired.
Exactly.
Bill, you are a hero.
Thank you, Bill, for so much for what you're doing. Yes,
thank you,
Jill.
too.
I just want to ask, in closing, is there any recourse that you're pursuing, legal or what?
Well, we are. I did get with American Center for Law and Justice, and they said that my case doesn't quite fit what they're doing, but I'm trying some of the other firms, and many people have stepped up to donate some money, too, which will take quite a bit. That's the one thing the school district has in Planned Parenthood is they have quite a bit of money, and the district has lawyers.
Right.
And some high-paid people who are...
Now, how about your Teachers Association? Is Teacher Association helping you out?
Yeah, the teacher union has been helping. In fact, we had a meeting the other day, and she was quite stellar.
Well, good. Well, listen, I think God's going to open up a door that's better than the one that you got thrown out of. That's what I believe is going to happen.
Amen.
All right. Well, thank you, and God bless all you.
Well, thank you, Bill, for joining us today. Thank you.
All right, you bet.
I mean,
wow.
What? There's nothing else.
See, Mark, remember you put out the little thing that shows the zip codes of where these places are.
Right.
And I noticed that in Portland, ain't that many black folks in that place.
There ain't many. I've been to Oregon many times. It's pretty white.
And yet they found a place, and they found a school where 80% is in that. Whoa.
And Mark, there's another dimension to this I was thinking about during this discussion, is you and I have worked over the years about the legal liability that the school district brings upon itself by allying itself with Planned Parenthood and letting them come in like that.
Right. Exactly. And this new campaign that we've talked about the last couple of months to alert these personal injury attorneys to the failure of mandatory reporting, I can assure you that's going to boomerang onto the school districts in many places, because very often these children that wind up at these abortion clinics were sent there by a school counselor, or in some cases taken there, and in some cases the school district paid for the abortion. So they're going to be in the hopper right along with these guys.